Hello everyone and welcome back today for round number 2 in the Sebastian Vettel driver career mode. We're here at Bahrain for round number 2, as I just said. We did mixed feelings about the Australian Grand Prix. Obviously we had that collision with Charles Leclerc, our teammate, which dropped us back to P8. But we worked our way up back into the position we qualified in 4th place. However, we did see Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas getting 1st and 3rd, picking up some good points for Mercedes. So let's see if we can do anything here at Bahrain.
Bahrain qualifying is nearly upon us, and the drivers look as if they're all geared up to go. I expect we'll be getting underway very shortly. Looking at this field today, Anthony, do you think we're going to see anyone take a chance? Maybe run the hard tyres and save some of the grippier tyres for the race tomorrow?
Well, I'd be surprised in all honesty. It's only the front runners that really have the pace to get away with that, and even then, at the end of the day, it's a big risk. Track position is the most important thing, and it's rarely worth sacrificing for a slightly more optimal strategy in the race, so I doubt we're going to see anyone trying it. I have been wrong before though. We certainly do see some risky decisions every now and then, and it's a gamble that's sometimes worth taking. But if it were me in the car, I would want to be on the fastest tyre for my qualifying lap, without a doubt.
So there you have it. We are here at Bahrain in one-shot qualifying. If you didn't watch the Australian Grand Prix, I would recommend you go check it out. But Bahrain, I'll go through my setup real quick. Not spend too much time on it. 5-4, 75-75, right, left, left, 3-3, 10, 8-4, 4, 85, 56, 23 and 21.1. If you need any setups, go check out my setup videos. Part 1 will have all the setups before the summer break, part 2 after, part 3 all in the wet. So let's get into qualifying here at Bahrain. Obviously it's a night race in this championship. Currently P1 on the straight, but that doesn't really mean anything as we break into turn 1. A little lock up on the front right and the front left, but we do hit the apex and currently are still leading the way after dropping down to P2. We now do drop down to P2. Lewis Hamilton gets a better exit, better straight line speed up until the right-hander into the S's at the end of sector 1, start of sector 2, where we obviously saw the two Mercedes go at it in 2014. What a show that was for us. But so far all clean, a little bit bumpy on the curb there on the right-hand side, so I'm trying to avoid that for the race. We do get a decent exit as we jump Lewis Hamilton. Now into a very tricky part of the track. So easy to lock up and do what I done, just go into the corner too deep. We do get a warning for exceeding track limits as it drops us down to 4th place, now 5th place. So we're going to have to watch out for that. Down to the long left-hander, which will be a swooping right-hander. Careful not to hit the curb on the right, otherwise that can cause the car to spin. A little look up on the front right, but trying to get a good exit. We do run a little bit wide. Hopefully we can get a better qualifying position than P4 this time. Into the final corner now. Down into 4th gear. Ride the curb a little bit. We're up into P3, now P4. So hopefully we can get this. It's going to be P4 with Lewis Hamilton getting another pole position to his name. That's the second one of the season after 2 races. So a good performance from him in the Mercedes.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Hamilton, Bottas and Max Verstappen. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix. So,
the two Mercedes having another 1-2 in our championship, but interestingly we do have Max Verstappen joining us in P3 on the 2nd row of the grid. Interestingly, that Charles Leclerc down in P5. I thought the Ferrari would be pretty quick around this track, just like it was in real life. We saw both Ferraris contending for some good points until we saw what happened, but we're not in real life, we are in a virtual world, and hopefully we can get maybe a podium or even a race win to our name. So let's get into the race.
Race day is upon us once again. I've got a feeling we're in for a special one today. We go racing today around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. I'm joined again today by none other than Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, obviously there's a lot of development work that goes on with these cars between the races. You've been both a test driver and a race driver. What differences are there in the way you approach those roles?
Interesting question, Crofty. They're two very different mindsets. I mean, when I tested for BAR, we had full in-season testing where, per driver, you'd cover up to 15,000 kilometres per season. And in that role, it was more about working for the team, trying to help them improve the car and drive as systematically as you could, so that that data could be analysed in the most consistent way. When you're lining up on the grid for a race, however, your frame of mind is all about what you can get out of the situation on that day, and the car's the tool to help you achieve what you want. You still want to focus on setup, of course, but it's more about the here and now, getting yourself as far up the field as possible, and less about development work for the future.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Perez, Norris, Sainz and Kevin Magnussen, Stroll, Gasly, Daniel Kvyat and Hülkenberg, Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Roman Grosjean and Kimi Raikkonen. Russell and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
So here we go, ready for the Bahrain Grand Prix.
Right, let's be patient going into turn 1. We want to be in a good position for the rest of the race. Good luck.
Thanks, Jeff, for the heads up. Unlike Australia, we're going to put a bit more fuel in the car. Hopefully try and burn some of it early on and try and gain an advantage on some of the cars ahead. But no formation lap, just like yesterday's race, Australia. But it's lights, quick lights out. I didn't even get to say five lights, but in fact, Max Verstappen with a horrible start. He's already been jumped by myself and Leclerc as we now go into turn 1. A bit cautious on the brakes as I don't want to hit anyone into turn 1, but we've still got Max Verstappen on the inside. But we cover him off with the inside line and better traction. Now we've got Valtteri Bottas and Charles Leclerc going at it. We're going to try and go around the outside of Valtteri Bottas and maybe even our teammate, but that'd be a challenge as we do go quite wide actually, and Bottas will go back through, but he does go defensive, so we're going to try and go round the outside. We will have the inside line. It's quite risky to go side by side through theirs, but however the two Mercedes 6 years ago now made that work, so
Okay, that's a good start. Keep it up.
thanks, Jeff. Oh, nothing happened. You saw absolutely nothing with the braking in that corner. And Bottas has definitely not just overtaken us. Because we're going to do the switchback now. Oh my god, maybe we can go round the outside. But now I'm going to tuck in behind and wait for a better opportunity. Going to pull up into overtake now, see if we can get him into the final corner. We'll look to go round the outside maybe into the final. But whoa, that was a pretty clean move, if I do say so myself. But there comes a point in the video where I'm just gonna pause it real quick. If everyone could close their eyes again, you might remember this from Australia, but if you close your eyes, just don't look at the screen, just think of something, just anything you want, whether it's F1 or what's for dinner. Just think what's for dinner tonight, or if you've had dinner, just think what have you had for dinner. Was it like, I don't know, did you have potatoes, chicken, pork, gammon, meat? What type of meat did you have? Whether you've had your 5 a day, have you had your 5 a day? Anyway, now open your eyes and yeah, we're back. Sorry about it. Yeah, just wanted to ask my audience a few questions. So yeah, now that we're back, we're getting dived out the inside by Valtteri Bottas, but we're gonna have the outside line and keep the position. try and chase down our teammate Charles Leclerc while defending from the Finnish driver and Dutch driver right behind him, Max Verstappen, who's trying to capitalise on his poor performance after an 11th place last time out in Australia. So he's keen to impress his team. We do run a little bit wide, doesn't unbalance the car too much, as we now chase down Charles Leclerc and the Monegasque driver, our teammates. Hamilton still leads this way, so yeah, pretty commanding performance from Mercedes driver. Have ran wide again. Shocking, but now we're going to vouch for Bottas on our left-hand side. He decides to back out into the left-hander after the straight. Probably the wisest decision from him, otherwise he could end up in a spin if we turn in on him and don't see him coming. But 1.6 seconds now to Charles Leclerc. We're going to have to try and close that gap, but preferably before the pit stops, just in case we get held up by anyone. Coming through the final corner now, we will be starting lap number 3. Hamilton's about to set the fastest lap of the race. There you go, 1:31.4 is the time to beat. It's at 1:32.2, so there is still plenty of time to make up on this lap. Into turn 1, braking just as the curb starts, and then trying to get on the power as early as possible, but not too early, so you don't get the rear spinning. Now there's a small slope into turn 3, maybe 4, I don't know, but out the end of sector 1, we're now going to just keep the car together. We are gaining on Charles Leclerc, I think.
Let's use some of this energy.
Alright, Jess.
The ERS deployment.
Finally, we actually make the corner this time, rather than our previous attempts that we've had. Almost forgot to change the ERS down to medium. Sorry about that. I don't know if you heard a noise with the mic. What's happened here then? I don't know if you can hear it, but I have no audio. Oh my god, I just broke so late. Hang on, just give me 1 minute. I'll try and get this all sorted.
We're approaching the pit window. You'll be on the mediums.
Alright Jeff, thank you very much. But we're gaining on Charles Leclerc. I can't really this is difficult. If you can just give me 1 minute, just literally 1 minute, maybe a bit more. Maybe a bit more than a minute, I don't know, but I'll try and get my audio working. Don't know if it's here yet, but we'll just, yeah, let's just give me 1 second. Right, I think the wait is over and we are now back. I'll check if I've got audio now. Yeah, that's better. I can now hear my my revs and everything going on around me. But we're just tucking in behind Charles Leclerc now, so hopefully we can make a move on the Monegasque drive and chase down the leader of Lewis Hamilton. We do set the fastest first sector. That's good to see. We did have the help of DRS with that, but now look at us right behind Charles Leclerc. Hopefully we don't make any more collisions. It's like we've seen the Ferraris do in real life. But we're now going to have the DRS and the overtake mode. I was a bit slow on the DRS, so maybe we won't get him here, but actually, now that I think about it, he goes defensive. We was going to go to the inside. He's parked his car nicely on the apex, just so he can't get past just yet. But maybe round the outside, potentially, or down the inside. We're going to stay behind him for now. And just there's a little bit of contact between us two, but nothing major, nothing like what we saw in Australia. going to take my time with this move. Wait for the DRS. There's more contact. This will allow Valtteri Bottas to get a good run, actually. So us boys at Ferrari haven't really thought about playing a team game, as now we go for a move on Charles Leclerc, but Bottas is also going to have the run. We do get a warning for a small collision.
You are teammates.
Thanks, Jeff, for the reminder that we are teammates, and we hope we don't want to end each other's race. But now look at the gap to Lewis Hamilton. It's come through the next couple of turns. At the end of sector 1, the gap's now 4.5 seconds. So that battling with Charles has definitely cost us a lot of time. Yeah, ignore that. Charles, you're a madman. You're a madman. I've gone deep. Oh dear. Oh dear. This has not gone well for both of us. We've lost out quite massively, I think. I think Leclerc's been overtaken by Albon as well. Yeah, so that's not gone well for the Ferrari team. My mistake, costing Charles Leclerc a few positions. Hopefully he can get them back though. He showed his pace in qualifying over one of the Red Bulls, so let's see if he can get Albon and then Verstappen. But we're trying to get Valtteri Bottas now, the Finnish driver in the Mercedes. Almost touched the rear of his car, but we get a bad exit, and now we're going to have Max Verstappen in the Red Bull trying to overtake us to P3.
Give us the best in lap you can.
Alright, Jeff, we'll pit this lap then. You go for a small gap on the outside. We're just going to try and go around the outside of Valtteri Bottas. Lose the rear, and there's damage to Valtteri Bottas's car. I don't know. I just got on the power a little bit too early and then lost the rear and careened into his path. So I do apologise to the Mercedes driver, but it hasn't I've not been affected too much, as our rears are definitely going. What's the tyre wear looking like? Yeah, tyre wear's quite high at 50% after 6 laps. I know it's a 25% race, but pretty harsh around this track.
This set of tyres is pretty much spent, I think. You should be able to bring a bit more out, but it won't be long before they fall away from you entirely.
I agree, Jeff. Hopefully we can get Max Verstappen before the pit stops. I wonder if he'd stay out or pit this lap, which Red Bull decides to come in to the pits and pit first, whether it would be Verstappen or Albon. But I'll see about Charles Leclerc looking at the back of Alex Albon now. Hopefully he can get the move up into P4 while we hunt down P2. Lewis Hamilton's been pretty dominant in the opening 2 rounds and still leading this race by probably 5 or 6, maybe even 7 seconds now. So all of our battling's giving him the advantage, but he does decide to come to the pits, and we'll Verstappen's in as well. Try not to speed in the. Oh, we went 2 kilometers over the speed limit, and we got away with it. So a little bit let off there, but we almost jumped. What's his name? Verstappen in the pits, but we had a racing point that came right in front of us. So unfortunate that he didn't come earlier. Sergio Perez who came into the pits, but now behind Verstappen, and maybe Lewis will get held up behind the Williamses in last place, well, effective last place after we see them pit. But Valtteri Bottas also pitting. Look how much time he's lost after the little collision that we had earlier. Just come out of the pits now behind the Haas and the McLaren. I'm sure McLaren wanted to score some better points after both drivers retired from last week. One from a terminal damage and one from a mechanical fault. So really unfortunate for them two. But now on the basically now on the same tyre, we're going to try and overtake Max Verstappen. So not much is happening in the mid stages of this race. We are just kind of currently P3, but you know, P16 because of the pit stops. Our teammates in the pits, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out, irrespective to us lot. I think most people are going to pit. Interestingly, some people stayed out. Maybe they started on the medium tyres that are going to go long. For those who started out at the tops, outside the top 10, maybe they try to go long in this race and try and jump people with a late safety car maybe. But you can see our teammate and Albon coming out the pits now. They're going to go behind us just where like before. But Alex Leclerc's actually got ahead of Albon in the pit stop, so that's excellent for us as a team. Let's see if we can close in Verstappen. We're still within the DRS range of the Dutch driver. We're getting really close to the rear of that Red Bull. I feel like as long as we stay within DRS range, hopefully we can get him. We do set the fastest first sector. A little bit of a wobble on the curbs through the S's, you could say. I don't know what the corner name is for this track, but let's see what we can do. Maybe we can go for fastest lap as well with the DRS, or whether we should stay behind him here and get more slipstream on the straight. We'll have to see what we do. We are going to stay behind Verstappen. We do take a bit of a wide line, but we're going to have the slipstream on the next straight and the DRS on the start-finish straight if we don't overtake him before then. We still go quickest on our previous best by just over a tenth. But here we go. Now we're on the slipstream. We're going to go to the left-hand side, the outside line, and hopefully it's job done on the Red Bull driver. But he keeps it down the inside, and we're still going to go side by side. He is going to have the DRS on us as we were in front of him before the activation line. We do set new personal best, but it's not enough for the fastest lap. I believe that's only 2 tenths off the fastest lap, but Verstappen's going to go down the inside. We're going to tuck in behind the Red Bull driver for now, but hopefully make another overtake on him as he's got a bit of a bad exit. We're all over the back of him. There's more contact between Vettel and Verstappen as we've seen in real life. And we're going to go side by side round the outside of the Red Bull. Let's see if we can make it stick. We can't quite make it stick, but he's going to go defensive in the S's. We're going to see if we can do the cutback maybe. Look for the outside line, but at the last minute switch to the inside. There's more contact between us two. No damage as of yet. Maybe we're not going to go for a move into the tricky downhill double left-hander. So we're going to have to bide our time, use the DRS and straight line speed to try and get past. We have a Renault lead in this race. I think that's Daniel Ricciardo, but don't quote me on that. He's probably started on the mediums and will go to the softs when he comes into the pit. But looking all over the back now of Max Verstappen. Hopefully we can find a way round as quick as we can. There we go, down the inside of Max Verstappen. Where is he? He's behind us now, so... Oh, sorry, it was Nico Hülkenberg who stayed out on the medium tyres, so... I was wrong.
We're leading our teammate by 2.6 seconds.
So we're going to go a little bit defensive into turn 1. Do go a little bit deep though. That could allow Max Verstappen to have a little look, but decides not to. I think we've got this P2 pretty secure for now. We do have Max Verstappen still behind us, but we're going to try and chase down the race leader Lewis Hamilton, 5.6. But we can certainly try our best. Hamilton has won the past race in Australia with the fastest lap, so he's going to get maximum amount of points for 2 races in a row, unless someone else can take away his fastest lap. We'll have to wait and see. I think for the last 4 or 5 laps, I'm going to let you viewers listen to the sound of the Ferrari and just listen to the game audio, and I'll wait to the end. There's not much is really happening at this point. You could also have Jeff talking to you as well, so that'll be something else for you to hear.
laps of fuel remaining. Okay, you're in the top 10. Okay, some information on Perez. They seem to have an issue. Hamilton is ahead of you. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 6 laps old. The time last lap was a 1 minute 31.8. You're closing by 0.4 per lap.
So we're now going on to the final lap of the race, and indeed we actually did get the fastest lap of the race over Hamilton with a 1:31.269. So that's an extra point for us in the championship. Currently our teammate banning Alex Albon for 4th place, as you can see on the minimap. Those two battling side by side through turn 1 and 2. Meanwhile we're pulling away from Max Verstappen in P2, so we're just casually, just controlling our pace. We actually are gaining on Hamilton, so more laps we probably could have had. I say more laps, maybe double the amount of laps we probably could have had him. But it's nothing to worry about. We're only round 2 out of 21 in this series, so yeah, we don't need to worry about dramatically gaining on him. So we do have yellow flags and end of sector 1, so I think someone's spotting it is when Ronan Grosjean's out of the session, out of the race. So that's really unfortunate for him on the final lap to have to retire. I think that's due to a mechanical issue. But nevertheless, we are going to come through the final corner of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton is going to win it. However, we are going to come home in P2 for our first podium of the series, and our best finish after our 4th place finish in in Australia, but hopefully we can get higher up the podium and start winning at a few races. I'm looking forward to some of the future races. So yeah.
Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. Let's see how the driver standings have changed. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. Let's focus on the driver of the day. Anthony Davidson, who do you pick?
For me, it's Kimi Raikkonen, someone who definitely doesn't get enough attention for how well he performs out on the track.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. It was a tough race for our championship leaders who lose ground at the top of the table. There was also a strong showing from the McLaren team today as they make their way up the standings. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
So that was the Bahrain Grand Prix, round number 2 in the Sebastian Vettel career mode. In terms of the standings, we move up into second place with our teammates dropping down to third place, but only 1 point separates us. Currently 20 points behind Lewis Hamilton, the championship leader, after winning the first 2 races and getting the fastest lap in one of them. So it's definitely all to play for. In terms of constructors, we do close the gap to now only 6 points. Toro Rosso moved their way up ahead of Alfa Romeo. Racing points jump ahead of Haas and McLaren, while Williams still haven't scored a points, but hopefully we can see them on the points somewhere this season, with Renault only getting 1 point. Interesting from the Renault team. So as you heard, Kimi Raikkonen getting driver of the day, so congrats to him. And that was round number 2. Stay tuned for tomorrow or the day after, whenever this is uploaded, for the Chinese Grand Prix, where we can try and close down Lewis Hamilton, maybe even get a race win. But that's been round number 2 at the Bahrain Grand Prix. I have been X90G or Sebastian Vettel, whatever you want to call me by. Let's see if we can get Sebastian out of that 5-time world champion before he can retire. But until then, goodbye.